G'day punters, welcome back to week 2 of the weigh-in, the show that we look back on the races from Saturday that have gone, and we're going to try to find you a couple of winners. Luke Marlowe, how are you, mate?
Hi, Johnson. I'm great. Hello, everyone. Good to be back on the weigh-in. We're reviewing Hawkesbury this week. Of course, they're standalone once-a-year meetings. So, look, it's not one of my favourite hunting grounds, Hawkesbury, and I had a few sick beats on Saturday as well. So.
You would have called a few races at Hawkesbury in your time. What's it like? Where are you? Because I know the stand is about the 100-metre mark, and it's a little bit hard to watch them when you're live. Where's the caller's box?
Yeah, we're pretty much what you're seeing on the at home off the videos is pretty similar to us. We're a little bit further back from the camera, so it's funny. The judge is right on the line, the camera is before the line, and the race caller's after the line. So the judge's box is actually in the middle. So yeah, our view is pretty much the same up until the line. We're actually past the post there, so it's a tricky little angle. But yeah, they run pretty straight at you in the straight, so you've got to keep your wits about you. But they're a good club out there, and it's a good area too. I know you're a proud boy from out that way, so it looked like it was a good day of racing out there on Saturday.
You know, the West is best, mate. You're off Newcastle on Saturday. Did you find anything for us up there?
I was up there. I haven't reviewed that meeting yet, but nothing springs to mind as you asked the question. But yeah, it wasn't a bad meeting up there at Newcastle. My sister lives up there now, so I like calling up there because I get to catch up with her. And I took the dog up for her to meet little Frank as well. And
nice
I didn't think he was going to come home. She liked him that much.
You backed a few winners that week when you bought that dog.
Mate, if I was single, any single blokes out there listening, you get the puppy. It's the biggest play ever. The birds just love them. Little cute puppy. I've been Sheila's who think I'm invisible here at my apartment block. Whenever I walk through with the puppy, all of a sudden they're getting a bit of attention. So
you're a chick magnet.
It's quite funny, but he's cool. He's good fun, little Frank.
Well, hopefully I get to meet him soon.
Definitely, buddy.
We'll get started. Hawkesbury. The track played relatively fair. The first race was a 2-year-old race over 1,400 metres. The market was really against Gleneagles. He was $2.80 out to $4.20. The market was with Hoover Lucy, $3.80 into $2.50. It seemed to want to be with leaders early.
Yeah, well, I was sort of not going to bet into this race because I didn't mind Gleneagles, but I just was walking a bit at that price. I ended up having something on him when the drift came. I think the money for Hoover Lucy was obviously she had the 4-kilo weight pull and she was going to get control in front. I think that's why the money came, and I think he did something, I want to say special, to actually win the race, Gleneagles, because he came from a 3 back the rail position. They didn't look to go overly hard, and he just exploded. So I'm saying this is a really nice 2-year-old Blakey. I think he could go to the JJ Atkins and win that.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you. He was really good. He came home in 33.81. He was 1,000 to 1,400 metres. There was plenty against him. I think there was 5 weeks between runs. And yes, he missed the start first up this preparation. So that's maybe why the market was against him. I tipped Hoover Lucy. Didn't get the result, but I thought Gleneagles was the horse to follow out of the race, and that is proven. I just didn't think that the setup of that race was for him.
Yeah, well, and you were proven 100% right because the market agreed with you on that. I just think this might be a horse that is above average. I mean, he had all the negatives in the world. He was up 400 metres, the little gap between runs, but he still overcame all of those things. I thought the run at the third horse was pretty good too, Blake. Archera lightly raced tight for Lee and Cherie Curtis. I'm not sure what sort of targets they have in mind for her, but she's by Maurice, the Japanese champion. She'll be a nice 3-year-old, and maybe even another horse that they might have a throw at the stumps up in Brisbane. But Gleneagles I'll definitely be following out of the race. I'll be keen to back it next start.
Yeah, I think there's improvement to come. The third horse, Aslav, or the third horse, Achira, it was well liked by the market as well. 18s into 12. Aslav, they didn't like that in the market, but yeah, I'm with you. Gleneagles is the one to follow out of the race. He can go on and win over a mile, maybe, if they take him to Queensland. Onto the highway, not the highway. The next race is the benchmark 78 over 1,500 metres. The market absolutely loved Ruby Tuesday. She was $3.80 into $2.90. Tim Clark went a little bit too quick on her, in my opinion. The market was against Grinder, Global Quest, and Kirwan's Lane. What did you make of the second?
Didn't bet in the race, but I was sort of thinking about maybe opposing Ruby Tuesday, but in the end, I stayed out. I think despite her defeat on the weekend, Gary Portelli deserves a rap for the way he's got her to jump. I mean, she'd been back half of the field, 6 or 7 of her last 8 starts prior to the 2 back where she led with Marquand, and I sort of thought, gee, the market's telling us that she's cured with the barrier manners, and it turned out to be the case. Probably just, as you said, just went that touch too quick in front. She was left wanting late. Steely was some win. I mean, this was a very dominant performance. The horse is flying, and there's no reason he couldn't win again next start, because you've got a strong sort of filly or mare in Saigon, and he just gapped her the last 100 metres. So he's a horse of interest for me going forward. Kirwan's Lane, I thought, returned there well off 212 days. It was a nice first up run.
Yeah, the market was against those horses that seemed to be fresh. So they wanted horses that had a bit of fitness edge. Steely was, I think, good the start before. Like when he beat Mensa Missile, I backed him. He peeled off her back, and she's one to follow into the future as well. Steely's the sort of horse that he's been able to race on the speed in his last couple. Like he hasn't been too far off them. When previously in his career he's got back to last and always been running on. But yeah, I agree with you with Ruby Tuesday. She's began well her last couple. The market loved her on Saturday, and I'd suggest that they thought that she was going to lead. I thought she would prove hard to beat. But you got that one right, mate.
Yeah, but I didn't do anything about it, Blakey. I mean, I sat back like a goose and sat on my hands and just let it go. But I don't know. He's obviously at his career peak now, because he'd had 3 previous city runs in town, and the closest he'd finished was 5th. So I'm not sure if that's a drag on this race, that it's not much good, or that he's just a horse that's flying. So could be a bit of both. But, you know, he is going great guns, and if you just take it off that performance, there's no reason Steely can't go on.
Well, he is lightly raced. He's only had 13 career starts, and he's won 5 races. So I've no reason why he can't go on and win more. He's going to be hard to place now. He's sort of won 5 races. He's won on a Saturday, so he's going to be finding those high benchmark races. So I'm not sure where he goes to now, but there's more races in him, and I wouldn't mind owning him. Onto the highway, 1,400 metres. The market loved another leader here, Charlton Park, $5.50 in the morning, available into $3.80. Golden Gorge, they backed earlier in the week, so he was $3.10 out to $4.40, but there was $7 maybe bet earlier in the week. So the money come for him earlier in the week. And don't forget Monica. She was really well supported late, 11 into 7.
Yeah, she was. I was on Golden Gorge here. It was a rare winner I backed on the day. Just Nash going on. He's a very good trainer, Cody Nesta. He does a super job, and he'd handled the horse well. You've got to have a couple of runs. Is it 3 starts before you're eligible for a highway? And he'd had those. It was interesting that he deep-ended him and put him in that, the town plate qualifier at Wagga. Yeah,
he ran him in a couple of, like those benchmark country races. It's good form for coming to a highway, like a Class 2 highway. It's
I mean, you look at Musselbrook 2 first up. I mean, it was 1,000 metres. He was $19 to $31. That was obviously just a run, but he absolutely charged home and overachieved there. So he'd run him 1,100, 1,000, 12, and then the target race, which was obviously this 1,400. Nash goes on. It was just brilliant training from Nesta. of the others, I think overall it is just an average highway. I don't think there's many horses I'd be following out of it. Charlton Park was very good with the 9 kilo weight pull. Just found a better horse on the day in Golden Gorge. Saintly Sunrise is flying, the third horse. And look, I just don't think there's much to say about the rest. Like, they can all whack around in similar sort of highways, but maybe going back in class for some would be where they're most suited. I'm not saying horses can't win out of this race, but as far as assessing Saturday highways, I don't think there's many horses I'd be following out of it.
There's two that I'm going to follow out of it. I was on Charlton Park at the good odds, $5.50 into $3.80. I think she threw the race away. Scotty tried to stretch her out to a mile last preparation. It just didn't suit her. They've trained her as a sprinter now, and she's reacted to that. So she'll be winning her races. Like, she just wanted to duck back to the fence. And I would suggest, like, Louise got an easy enough time in front, and she could have been off just prior to the corner. It seems to be a track that, like, you want to get rolling, even though it's a really long straight at Hawkesbury, you want to get rolling and sort of, he was right on the bit, Golden Gorge, the whole time. She might not have been able to get him off the bit, but he was traveling the whole way, and he looked like he was going to put a couple of lengths on her, and she just kept kicking back.
Well, we were head-to-head in that race, and, it's a great thing as a punter when your horse is in a head-and-head battle, and you've just got Nash just getting stuck in.
100%. There's none that
it's a big
better finish. And I'm going to follow. Don't forget Monica.
Yeah. Okay.
I think she was a little bit stiff.
She's racing well.
She was racing well. She was held up for a few strides. She raced in limited room, and I think that she'll be winning a race in the near future. Onto the 78 over 1,800 metres. Lunchies opened up $8 earlier in the week, started about $5. So the money was spot on late with him. I backed Sagacious in this. I was a little bit disappointed with him after the race, but going back through the race, they run a track record here.
Yeah. I think this is a nice horse, Lindsay's. Definitely can win a game. Just that last 100, there was something about it. He had that powerful finish, and he had 60 on his back as well. So look, don't be surprised if he goes up in class, drops in weight, and can win a game. For me, it's all eyes for the winner. Yeah, I mean, easy to say now, post-race expert, but geez, Yangtze Rapids has gone around at a poisonous price here. I mean, he got complete control of that race at Canterbury, which was a biased track, and had J-Mac, and he won by 5, but it was a midweek race. Came to a Saturday race against some pretty tough nuts here, and he's gone around SP 280. So yeah, I know some people were keen on him, but I stupidly again didn't play in this race. Made a mistake. Definitely should have been on Luncey. There's a black booker of mine as well from first up. So I've handled this day like an amateur, Blakey.
Mate, we all have those days. I didn't back a winner on Saturday, so I found a couple. I didn't back a winner, but I found a couple. Luncey's. I don't know if we're going to see much more of him. Chris Lee seems to think he's going to be a real spring horse, so we might see maybe one more run out of him, and then he'll go to the paddock and be aimed at those, maybe a Caulfield Cup or a race like that. But I wouldn't say no to him. There's nothing that I really want to follow out of the race. I do think Sagacious will be back in the winner's stall soon enough, but I didn't put him in my black book. Did you see the video of Bjorn?
I didn't.
He forgot that the winning post was 100 metres past the grandstand, and he thought Savory won the race.
Well, we won't be able to do it now while we're chatting, but if you can pull it up now for your viewers, and I'll check it out at some point too. But that is funny. I mean, that's Kiwis, mate. I mean, my missus are Kiwis, they have some moments where you just go, are we on the same planet?
I think you must watch him on the TV more often than in the stand, but he's gone up to watch that one in the stand. So he thought that Savory had won, but it was the wrong winning post. He thought he seemed to think it had won, and then they kept racing, and he sort of went, "Oh, there's another 100 metres to go."
That's so good.
So Bjorn got stitched up there by the old Hawkesbury track.
I only know Dan really to say hello, and barely that, but he'd be good fun to have a beer with, I reckon.
He's a cool dude. We actually we played basketball with him a couple of Magic Millions ago.
Yeah. I remember that.
So yeah, he's a cool
Any
dude.
good? Was he any good? Because you're a bit of a baller, Blakey, from way back. We used to have a basketball team. I was rubbish, but you just carried us.
I don't know about that. I know that the editing made me look really good in that video, but I missed plenty of shots.
Yeah. Oh well, but yeah. One other horse I just mentioned out of that race. There's a win in Relucent soon. He's a dry tracker, so going into the winter months, you'd have to keep that in mind. But I think he's racing well and busting to win one.
Yeah, he's limited. I backed him last preparation and he dead heated. Actually, no, he lost it on protest, and I had a bet with the tab, so that didn't work out too well for me.
I'm just looking on here. Where was that?
Yeah, he lost one on protest, I reckon, at maybe Ramwick or somewhere, Rose Hill.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you might be right. He's here it is. Kembler was accountability. I remember that day.
Oh, Kembler, yeah, it was the standalone day.
Yeah, November 21, lost on protest. Nash on him that day. So, gee, you can stop one.
I can stop one, mate, no doubt. All right, let's move on to the black type races of the day. The Hawkesbury Crown, 1,300 metres. Sweet Deal was absolutely loved by the market, 380 into 280 late. I think they offered about maybe $5 earlier in the week. Air to Air was good again. Market liked her, $11 to $8. A Theory was firm at $2.80.
What about it?
What about it? It was something beat. Like, you can't say that it was a good thing beat, but she didn't get a crack at it.
That was it was a tough watch, but these things happen in racing, and she drew barrier one, was in the right spot. The runs just didn't come. I'll be following up. Yeah, I was on Saturday, but I'll be following up. I think she's come back well, and she's a mare that if she gets the rating up, I think there's black type races for her north of the border as well. Just a complete forgive run. Air to Air is totally flying. It was a great run from last.
How far would she have won the 78 by?
Yeah, I think she would have won it. Was that the last?
That was the last, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the tempo in that race, how fast they went. Seems like she would have, I would have suggested, definitely would have won that. But yeah, Sweet Deal, she's a gutsy mare. She was the highest benchmarked horse in the race. So, set weights and penalties. She's been able to get the job done. I thought Jen Rules was good. Not a bad ride this from Clipperton. He was cast wide, so he just let her stride to the front. She did a little bit of work to get there, but I thought her effort was good. The rest are just much of a muchness, aren't they? The horses I'd be looking at going forward are Air to Air on a fair track with pace, and A Theory, which was just a complete forgive first up there.
Yeah, I've got a couple going into my black book here. Air to Air, obviously, if she finds the right race. She can win one of these races.
Yeah.
But she just needs everything to set up perfectly for her.
I don't know what a last 600 was, but they've come home in 33.39 here. So
she was home in 33.48. So terrific.
It's a good run, isn't it? Yeah. Gee, I'm surprised it's not quicker than that, actually. Because I'm just going.
I think it's the second best in the race. I think Sweet Deal was home in the fastest, 33.44. She was home.
Yeah, she's racing well. I haven't done the times yet. I've only done the videos, but it visually was a great run. Great run.
Yeah, she's terrific. She'll land a black type race. I'm not sure when, but if she goes back to benchmark class, she's going to be seriously hard to beat. Down the bottom, as you said, A Theory, she just didn't get a crack at them. She was 1,300 metres first up off a break, so she's done a terrific job wherever they go with her now. Even if it is 1,400 metres, 1,400 metres would be a stretch for her, but if they find a 1,300 for her, she's going to be topped right off from that run. There was a sneaky run as well. She Shall Fly. She didn't get a crack at him for Kevin Corstens. I think she's one to follow out of the race. I'm not sure whether she would have troubled those, but she didn't get a crack at them and could be winning a lesser race in the near future. Onto the Gold Rush, Embracer, the gelding.
Well found.
$7 early. I I liked him. I didn't take the good price. 5 into 460. They didn't go as hard as expected, and he was able to sit 3 deep on the speed. I guess the market was generally against fresh horses, but this horse has been gelded. His rating was really high, and I'd suggest that that's why the market, they'd suggest the market thought that he might have had a couple of lengths improvement in him, and if that was the case, he was going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, I mean, there was something about this win. I mean, the way it exploded at the 250 and its galloping action. I mean, that's not, you can't do form off the way a horse's action is, but there was just something about it when he let down, and then the last 75 he was eased up. Yeah, he's come back extremely well, and it's hard to say he can't improve. I know Gay and Adrian get him fit, but he was off 294 days, so he might have a bit more there. He's come back a proper horse, I think. He did have 53 on his back, but he was very good. The only negative I'd say with this race is that 100 to 1 shots run fourth, Just Field. A horse that had returned well at Muswellbrook and is going well, but it was 100 to 1 and only beaten 2.2. So that's my only little pot on Embracer. St. Covet's Spirit is a horse that I'm interested in going forward. Was just crowded up a bit in the straight there, and Jason Coyle is a trainer that likes to leave a bit in the tank. They generally improve into a preparation. So I think St. Covet's Spirit could win a Saturday race, particularly during these winter months, because it's proven last time in that it can hold form for, how many runs did it have last prep? 2, 4, 6, 7 runs. So when these tracks get wetter, it's placed on a heavy 8 before. So I'd be interested in it this winter.
You can have her, mate. She's forever unlucky, St. Covet's Spirit.
You know, well, she's only won 1 from 20, I know, so you might have a case, but you know, I'm a sicko for the pain, so I just love it. You know, unlucky, and then I just keep following. I'm like a dog chasing its tail. Never catch it, but I just keep going round and round.
When you do, as long as she goes around at 20 to 1, it's not a bad result. Just Field,
well, she will be odds, yeah.
I actually backed Water Dove to beat her first up at Muswellbrook. So she's come out and she's got a black type place in there. So that's a good effort.
I had the same bet there at Muswellbrook. Yeah, it was a good win. It's a real freshie. It's won 3 out of 4 first up, and I sort of missed that when doing the form for that race. So
I was a little bit dirty on myself. I should have found her that day. So, and she was about, I think she was about 10 or 12 to 1 or something.
Yeah, it was odds. It was double figures. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on.
What do you think of the Guineas?
The Guineas.
Yeah.
Sammy Clipperton got a couple of weeks. What do you think about the protest? Did you think?
Well, it was never going to be upheld because of the margin.
It wasn't.
But she got him.
You can make a case that the other horse should have won.
Man, its run was amazing. How did it run third?
It did a terrific job. Picked
like
back up.
Blinker's first time. The owner of that horse is or a shareholder, Merwin. He had a 2-year-old win at Muswellbrook on Friday. I saw him up at the races, and he bailed me up after the 2-year-old one. Like, couldn't have told me before the race, but he said, "Mate, Black Duke, you watch, he'll run a big race tomorrow in the Guineas." And I was sort of, 60 to 1. I just let it go around. But gee, it was a fantastic performance. It got decked by the winner, and then somehow picked itself up with only 100 to go and came again on the line and got past Ellsberg for third. It was a great run. I could entertain backing it next start. Clippo also got fined 2,000 for the interference on Exo Boom, so he lost a bit of his percentage there. On the winner, big strong bugger, isn't he?
Smart horse.
Bit like yourself, Blakey.
Bit more like you, mate. Yeah, he's a smart horse. Smart horse.
Have you seen the build of me?
I've seen you, mate. I've seen your legs motor.
I'm not well built. I'm like a greyhound.
Built for speed.
Yeah. How about that? I did towel you up that day down at the Oval. Where were we? In
Seaforth.
Yeah, you priced yourself up pretty short favourites, and
I really did.
I got you.
I thought it was a good thing that day.
Anyway, sorry, I cut you off there.
That's okay.
You tell me what you thought about this.
Exo Boom. Yeah, he's a horse that can go on and win more races. I thought he was a touch disappointing first up, but he's peaked on the day. I thought the favourite was a little bit disappointing. Ellsberg, he was $2.05 into $1.90 on the day, so he had to be disappointing.
Yeah, you'd be disappointed if you backed him, but I don't know. He's sort of outside the lead. I thought he'd get it a bit more comfortable, and Acrophobic sort of rattled his cage and he dropped out. Ellsberg was still there fighting at the end. I could make a bit of an excuse for him, to be honest. I'm not prepared to totally sack him off that run. One horse that's been beaten 6 there and only beat the 150 to 1 shot home is On Chow. Well, he was 3 wide punching the breeze on. This looked a genuine tempo, this race, to me. As I said, I haven't got into the times or anything, but I think he could be easily forgiven also On Chow and back in grade, going back to Canterbury or something from a draw. Don't be surprised if he bounces back out of this.
Yeah, well, they've gone, I think, 11 lengths faster than the highway. So they've skipped along at a fair pace.
Yeah, well, that would indicate that they have gone quick.
But yeah, I think I think we're following Black Duke. I'd just be concerned about sometimes horses when they get the blinkers on for the first time, they absolutely jump out of the ground and then they come back a couple of lengths. So that's the concern with him next start. But he was very good and looked to be a future winner. And I think there's one, she didn't have the best of luck. Not this class yet. She'll probably win a black type race, maybe next preparation, but coming back in class, Calgary Queen, I thought she was very good for Brad Whittup.
Yeah, it exceeded my expectations, to be honest. I mean, it's only just been beaten by AIM. So where's he at, AIM? I think he could be cast.
Yeah, well, he's bounced off pretty ordinary performances in the past. Like I think he was 30 or 40 to 1 when he went to Queensland and won that.
Yeah, he's a funny horse.
He just needs everything to sort of set up nicely.
It might not have been his track either. I suppose you've got to give him one more chance, but you'd like to see him do a little bit more shortly.
Yeah, you'd want to see more out of him than that, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him bounce off a poor run and put in a peak effort. So him going forward, he's not one of mine, but like if you think that he can win, I wouldn't be against it. And then into the Gold Cup, Archidemus won his second Hawkesbury Gold Cup. That Rocket Clock form looked good. Royal Celebration and Archidemus came out of that race. I know you had a significant bet on Royal Celebration.
I did. I'm not disappointed at all with the run. I thought he was just fantastic again, but I just can't believe he didn't go past Archidemus. Full credit to the winner. Both horses were on the back up, first and second. So, again, I probably made a little bit of a mistake not chopping out on Archidemus. He's proven at the track, and he was on that 7-day backup. He did a mountain of work in that race behind Rocket Clock, and that was the same race Royal Celebration came out of. So, I mean, it was easy to back him. Archidemus, you could excuse that last run, and I thought the third horse, Purple Sector, was pretty good. He was exposed most of the way, and I looked at the steward vision down the back. There was a real bumping duel going on between him and Miss Siska at a point down the back straight, so that wouldn't help his chances. I think he indicated he's back in form there, Purple Sector, but Winner was just tough and gutsy, and on the back up, too good. So disappointed to not collect on Royal Celebration, because I did unload.
It was good odds earlier in the week. $4 available. You take something like that?
Yeah, north of, and good bet without a result.
It's a good bet, mate. He looked a winner. He set up really nicely. Good ride by Clippo.
Mind you, I'll probably drop off now. Yeah, I think that's it for me. The love affair's over.
He's found his because those first 2 runs he was double figures, and then he's come into this. What I mean. He started. What did he start?
Yeah.
$3 favourite. So
that's it. I mean, he's going to be short again. Not to say he can't win, but I mean, he's had every hope there, and he couldn't get the job done for us. So you got to take each race on its merits, I suppose. But yeah, I think for me, I'll let him win without me now. which will just make me feel even sicker about this.
Mate, you'll find another one from this show this week. We'll get a couple of black bookers, and I think we made him. He was your horse to follow from last week, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, him and Prague.
Prague, yes.
So yeah, we're yet to see Prague, but yeah, looking forward to seeing where he ends up. I think it'll be up in Queensland.
The last race of the day was a 78 run over. Lost me spot on the paper.
Yeah, 1300. This is the happy 70th Evelyn.
Oh, Evelyn.
Benchmarks. So yeah.
Hopefully she didn't have too many drinks leading into the last race. That's a bit of a stitch up, isn't
it? Yeah. She might have backed the winner. You never know. Did you find
somebody did?
Here?
51 into 31.
Yeah, it was well spec'd. I mean,
I reckon it was Evelyn.
Could have been. $10 each way. That's all it takes to firm them these days, isn't it? You know what? I couldn't have possibly backed it.
I couldn't have had it either. It was
first up. Even Matt Dunn after the race said, "Yeah, that was a surprise to me. I thought it'd need the run." So, you know, I backed Grand Remore, and not criticising Jace's ride at all, but I think if he stayed on the rail, he would have won.
And that's usually Jace's go too.
Well,
like
he did it
most on the fence.
Exactly, and he did it a lot of the day. Like, looks like Elvis came up the inside. He saved ground on Rainbow Connection. So the two races prior, he's been hard fence. But I can understand, you know, why he come out. Because if you're coming out, you're giving yourself two options. You can go left or right. If you stay on the rail, well, you can't go in. You're already in. So it sort of narrows down your percentages. And I guess when you're riding a favourite, you want to give him a bit of room. And she still had a chance, but she copped a little bit of a bump at the 150. And the winner came up where she was. I mean, Impasse was following Grand Remore in the race, but that's really nitpicking and maybe clutching at straws a bit. I think realistically she needs to go up a little bit further in distance, Grand Remore, but I won't be dropping off her.
Yeah, I think she was good.
It is a her, isn't it? It is a her, isn't it?
I'm going with you.
Yeah, it is. It's a mare.
Okay, well, second Australian start. It went good. Yeah, she needed room sooner. She probably goes close to winning if she gets it. Nash got a couple of weeks on Vitesse, so he's only just come back from a suspension and he'll serve 2 weeks now. Yeah, well, Louise Day on McCormack, she copped the brunt of that and clipped heels and could have fallen. So I'm glad that horse stayed up for Louise. And yeah, Nash, he's just having a bit of a bad run with suspension. He's such an aggressive rider. Sometimes he treads that tightrope. I've got a question for you. Do you know if Opacity's out yet? I've got yellow highlighter on Opacity. He was good. He was really good. He was good. Yeah, he was good without no luck. Campbell, wherever he went, a horse rolled in on him, or he just had no luck at all. It was a horror show for Opacity, but come back well, that horse. Yeah, he was. Back well. He had a bit of his ratings were low last preparation compared to the previous prep. So hopefully he's back on track. And if they put up $17 next start, I'm going to have something on him for sure. Yeah, I'd be surprised if they do. But I hope they do as well, because I'd like to back him next start. I just don't think he was fully there last prep. Like he was airborne the preparation prior. I just think last preparation he was only placed one of his 5 starts for the prep, and I'm not sure he fully came up. But I reckon John's got him back, and his stable's flying, O'Shea. I mean, how airborne is he? He's flying. He had 3 winners last weekend. Did he have a winner on Saturday? No winners on Saturday. No winners on Saturday, but yeah, flying. He actually had 4 winners last weekend because that horse, Intrepidatious, was it Intrepidatious? One in Melbourne. Well. Yeah, so the stable is absolutely flying. Yeah, so Opacity's the one to follow for me out of that race. What's your horse to follow out of the meeting? Mate, I think Gleneagles is worth following. I don't know if he's going to Brisbane. I just said JJ Atkins because, you know, he looks a miler. You would think so. It's got to be a setup. Yeah. 1,000 to 1,400 metres, that's not usually a grand final run. That's probably a setup for a mile run at his next start, maybe. Yeah, agree. So I'll say Gleneagles out of the first and a Theory out of the mares race 5. I think you've got to forgive. Okay, well, I'm going to be having something on Opacity wherever he goes at his next race start. And I think that I will be following Charlton Park. If she goes back to the country, she's going to be super hard to beat. I'm not sure that we're going to get a real price, but she's going to be winning at her next start, I think.
Beautiful. Good stuff, mate. Have you had a look at Canterbury this week yet?
I've had a couple of bets at Hawkesbury tomorrow. I thought one in the last. Just give me one moment. Just opening up sports bet. I thought ASTERO was going to be really hard to beat in the last. He's been gelded. Matty Smith, he's tried a couple of times. The only concern with him is most of his form's on wet surfaces. But
yeah, okay.
Like you're getting $3.20 to find out. His rating was really good. His ratings were really good for this race tomorrow, and he's been gelded. So if he's improved a couple of lengths, he's going to be seriously hard to beat. And he's 650 to 320 already. I took 550 today. So there's
Lovely.
one for the punters. But Wednesday, I haven't really had a look at Canterbury yet. Have you got one for us?
Yeah, I'll give you one actually. Race 2, number 10, Overman. This was a great run first up, and it's got a better barrier. So I think he can be hard to beat. Would have maybe ideally liked him up in distance and maybe a different track, but I just think that the better draw assists that. We are getting a lot of rain though. It's going to piss down in Sydney tomorrow and Wednesday, so that would be a query. One horse that will love it there is SAHRA. It's in race. Where is it? I did that race today. Snowden's filly, SAHRA.
Yeah, I know her.
Yeah. I just can't find what race she's in. But she's a real wet tracker, and I thought her first up run was absolutely sensational at Gosford. That was a really biased track at Gosford. No horse made ground like that all day. There she is, race 5, number 8. So those are my two plays for Canterbury Wednesday. BJ?
Okay, Overman and SAHRA from Luke Marlowe. I've got to look at the meeting. But, yeah, Overman, he's going to be really well liked by the market regardless of what happens. He was a black booked run from his debut effort. He got really far back, and I think Tommy rode him and he really found the line. So you would have expected him to go up in distance, but if he can settle a couple of pairs closer, he's going to be hard to hold out.
Saboog's just walked in.
Sorry?
Tiger, yeah.
The dog.
No, it's an old Saboog. Remember Saboog? Look, there he is.
Oh, yeah, Saboog, guys. Hey, Saboog. Getting a run on the podcast. I think that's about...
He's actually called Tiger, but do you remember that horse Saboog that everyone just despised on the punt? He'd never win.
No, I can't say I do.
He was. Look him up. You'll remember the mighty Saboog.
Okay.
Well, what's a non-winner? What's the biggest non-winner?
Maybe Kementari. Kementari. I don't know.
There you go.
Kementari. All right, Kementari. Welcome to the podcast. I think that's our cue to wrap this thing up.
That might do it. I'm delusional. I'm that tired.
I think we've been on this for too long. How long have we been going for? Enough. The punters will let us go, but thanks for joining us. Hopefully there's a few winners for us. Gleneagles is Luke Marlowe's horse to follow. Don't worry about mine. I haven't been able to find a winner lately, so plenty of seconds for me.
You'll be right. You'll be fine.
We'll bounce back tomorrow, mate. Hawkesbury, that horse in the last, ASTERO. But thanks for joining us. Round 2 of the weigh-in.
That might even be it too.